I opened the new defense bill that just passed the House because I wanted to search a few keywords, and I got through 4 of 24 search results for my very first search term, and then the website stopped loading. I had downloaded the PDF and it wouldn't even let me view that either. Just a glitch, Chrome being Chrome. Luckily, I had already downloaded the entire 1,614 page PDF, so instead of just reading the headlines and searching terms, I started reading the bill itself. So here's a couple of sections that I think deserve more attention. The first important context, this is the House version of HR 8800. It's not the final law yet, so the Senate still has its own process. But here's some of the things that the House voted to advance. Most people are talking about Section 219. This creates a United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative, and the section also expands into artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, cyber, biotech, directed energy, network integration, data fusion, joint manufacturing, joint training, information sharing. Supporters say it's necessary because countries already cooperate closely on defense, and critics argue that it could make America's future defense industry and our military technology increasingly intertwined with Israel's. I guess whether you see that as strategic or concerning would depend on your perspective. And Section 219 also isn't the only Israel provision. If you see later in the bill, there's an entire subtitle devoted to Israel. It expands the U.S. War Reserve Stockpile Authority, expands subterranean war cooperation, and cooperation to counter unmanned systems in all war-fighting domains. Again, some people view that as a strengthening an important ally. Others think Congress should publicly debate how integrated that relationship should become. Then I found Section 1099, and asked whether information should officially become a domain of warfare. Not information about warfare, information itself. The bill discusses things like information operations, cyber intelligence, and related capabilities. The section doesn't authorize propaganda against Americans, but it shows how seriously modern governments now view information as part of national defense. When you look at Section 4201, that's in thousands of dollars, and you see how much there's spending on like surveillance and IT and information, and I don't even know what some of this stuff means, like cognitive electromagnetic warfare. What? Tech transition, AI, bro. Oh, and then right before that section is Section 1098, the technical surveillance and digital force protection. The stated goal is protecting military personnel from being tracked through commercial technology and digital footprints. But considering how much location and consumer data gets bought and sold every day, that's probably a conversation worth having. Then the bill gets into artificial intelligence. This is creating a framework to rapidly deploy commercially available AI systems inside the Department of Defense. Supporters say military technology can't afford to move slowly anymore, but critics wonder whether AI oversight can realistically keep up. Another section requires doctrine for autonomous military formations. Notice what it actually says though. It doesn't say robots are going to make life and death decisions by themselves. It talks about developing doctrines for the autonomous systems. That's still a pretty significant direction for military planning. The bill also creates an establishment of Army Information Operations Center of Excellence. Combined with the earlier section though, it's clear that Congress expects information warfare to become increasingly important. One section even creates a pilot program looking at voice-based risk assessment for military drug testing. That raises obvious questions. How accurate is that? What happens if the software is wrong? How do you validate something like that? Like if someone gets a cold or has an accent, are they going to say that they're intoxicated? I'm so confused. Here's my point. You might think that every one of these sections makes perfect sense, or you might think some of them deserve a lot more public debate. But almost nobody's reading these bills before they become national news. Regardless of your politics, Congress shouldn't be the only group of people reading legislation that affects everyone else. So don't take my word for it. Download the bill and read it yourself. Then come back and tell me what else I missed.